I'm going to be trying to repair the shift interlock solenoid on my 2009 Impala. I am not an auto electrician or an auto mechanic. This is not a how-to video. This is a how I repaired my car personally. Don't take any information from this video as a how-to. This is only how I did the video, or how I did video. Take anything from this video at your own risk. Thank you. Here I am working on my 2009 Chevy Impala gear shift interlock. I fixed it several months ago. The gear shift wouldn't come out of park. Now the easy solution to get you home is reach down through here and press this little button, and it will come out of, you can get it into drive and drive home. But the typical problem is this wiring harness is either pulled out of the connector, this is the replacement connector, or the wires have got cut. So I fixed it several months ago and it worked for several months. This last weekend it stopped working again. My initial thought was one of my connections had failed, so I actually soldered all 4 connections and verified that they were good. Didn't fix the problem. I then checked that the brake light switch was working, because apparently if the brake light switch is not working, this will cause the same issue here. It won't allow you to shift out of park. Then the brake lights were working. I then checked to make sure that the fuse down in here, in this little fuse box, it's the RAT fuse, is good. It's a 10 amp fuse. Let's see if I can show it. It's right up in this, up behind here, up behind this relay. That was good. So I then verified with the test light that my ground wire had a good ground. The black wire goes up to this connection, had a good connection, good ground. The power to the solenoid had a good, I was getting power. I then powered the solenoid by plugging in my original socket, and the solenoid failed, didn't work. So I went out to buy a new solenoid. If the wires are pulled out of the plug on your original plug, you can actually repair it by carefully pushing, see if I can see what I'm doing, pushing these little blue clips. That will come out. Then taking a safety pin, pushing in like so into the plug, the wire will pull out. You can now resolder a small wire on there, or repair this wire, and you can save yourself $20 odd for the connector. This is the new solenoid from Dorman. I picked this up from O'Reilly's Auto Parts for $60 something, under $70. to reassemble the plug, you just push the connector back inside, making sure you orientate it correctly, and then push the little blue safety strip or locking strip in, and you should have a working plug again. I actually bought a grey replacement pigtail, and it's under the number AC. There's an AC Delco, and part is PT3923, and it was less than $20. But here is the color code from the back of the plug. Here, I've noticed on the internet there are several diagrams which do not match the Chevrolet, the 2009 Impala. Other vehicles may be different, have a different wiring layout, but this is for the 2009 Impala with the 3.5 engine. The solenoid is the one I got was a Dorman 924-978. I actually went to O'Reilly's and gave them the GM number, which is 889674140. Be careful if you're looking it up on the internet. The item looks like this. This is the actual valve, the actual solenoid. It has the same silver button. As you put the button, it goes in, it releases this clip, this little pin here, which that's what prevents you moving out of park. There are two Torx 15 screws holding the solenoid assembly in place. One is right here and can be reached through here with a very short Torx wrench and some difficulty. The other screw is on the back of the solenoid assembly. The first screw is here, the second screw is back here, and that can be reached by unclipping the bezel around the transmission lever, gear shift lever, and then you can push a screwdriver down through this slot. I'm not going to video my attempt to get to that screw, but I'll remove the screw and then replace the solenoid and come back. When installing the new solenoid, you need to press the little silver button here to allow the plastic button to engage in the gear shift, otherwise you won't be able to get it back in the correct position. Now when you start the screw into the plastic of the housing or assembly, if you turn the screw backwards until you feel a small click, the self-tapper will engage in the original thread. It won't try to cut a new thread. So just turn it backwards until it clicks and then screw in the normal direction. This is my setup to get the rear screw, and I'm going to struggle to get the front screw. I won't bother to video that because it's going to be probably painful to watch. Well, okay, I managed to reach the front screw the same manner as I got the back screw in, through the top here. So I didn't have to struggle through that tiny hole. So anyway, both screws are in, and I'm going to check my work. Well, it's all plugged back in and it's working. If you listen carefully, possibly, as I touch the brake pedal, you can hear the solenoid energizing. Anyway, I need to put it all back together. Thank you for watching, and I hope this has helped someone. This video is a little more involved than the usual repairs, which just involve this wiring harness, the wiring harness here. And the original problem was this harness is very short, and as the gear shift is moved, you can see the connector moves backwards and forwards, and these wires, one of these wires or several of these wires, get pulled out of the connector. This is the aftermarket pigtail that I used, and if you have to do this in the parking lot somewhere to get home, you will reach down between the having removed the unclip this cover, you can actually reach down inside here and reach that little silver button. That will get you home. Thank you. When you're reinstalling the center console trim, there are 4 plastic clips that need to be inserted properly. They're part of the grey trim, but they need to go into the holes in the piece underneath. The 2 on this side and 2 on this side. Once they're lined up, it'll all drop in correctly, and you can get the 2 screws in the front. They'll just go straight in, and but I had a little difficulty getting the back 2 lined up, and this trim didn't drop down easily. The first time I did this job it went in easily. This time it was a little more difficult to get it in for some reason, so I thought I'd mention the reassembly. There's the 2 screws at the front you have to remove to get this piece out, and then there are 4 screws down in the bottom of this little cubby. The screws are down in the bottom corner. They're all Phillips head screws. So take those 4 out, these 2 out, and this plastic centerpiece will lift out. If you're caught in the parking lot with the shifter not going into out of park, you can actually reach down through here. It's a little challenging to reach down, but with a long screwdriver you can reach down and pop that little silver button, and then you'll get it out of park. Thank you.